Hey, this is Z with Small Scale Development. This is another episode. Today we're going to talk about finances, and the goal of the program here is to help you learn how to do your very first development project by watching me go from start to finish with a development project. So today we are going to talk about finances, pro formas, and the financial modeling side of things. Just the very basics to get you a feel for what it looks like and how to get started. I know you'll have a lot of questions from this, but I'm just gonna jump right in, and we'll answer questions in future episodes. So last time we looked at the site. We looked at what we could build, the zoning, the survey, all the things we could do. And so I'm gonna show two examples here of what could be built here. One is doing 6 townhouses all along the front here, and the other option is 4 single-family houses. So we could split it up however we wanted: two along here, 2 along here, 3 here, 1 here, etc. The point more is just to give you a feel for how we would look at that with regard to the numbers. Now, what I mentioned before is that in Fayetteville, you can split a lot 3 times into 4 total lots before it goes to a larger scale development. So that's kind of where our focus is, staying small, not doing huge development. So splitting it 4 times, and the other option, so that's one option. The other option is we build 6 townhouses across here, and we are not able to split them individually. Instead, what we would need to do is actually rent them out, or if we're going to sell them individually, we would need to convert it into a condo development. So that doesn't change anything with regard to development. It does change how we deal with the ownership and sale of it. So I'm gonna walk you through these numbers here. So here's a quick look at how I do sort of the back of the envelope calculation. So in the first case, we're going to look at this simple version of 4 houses, and I'm going to take an example from 2 that were just sold that were across the street. They were each 1,600 square feet, and they sold for $365,000 each. So that gives us a good starting point. We can change the numbers up, but that's just kind of a good starting point here. And I'm going to say the land value is worth $240,000. So when you're looking at a piece of property, you can look at it and say, okay, well, this is the asking price, and then I can determine, well, does that make sense based on all these other numbers? Is that what we can pay for it? Is that a good deal? Is that not a good deal? So that's the starting point. Now, excuse me over here. So we've got the house, 1,600 square feet. We have got, if we split it into 4, we're going to say each lot is worth $60,000. Now, there may be costs to splitting it. You may have legal fees, city fees, surveying fees, etc. But we're going to just kind of do a simple math here. $60,000 per lot, and it costs, let's say, all in $150 per square foot to build. So that's in this simple case, simple math, back of the envelope is $150 square foot. That includes design fees, interest payments, soft costs, hard costs, etc. That's just the way I'm going to do it here to make it simple. Obviously, once you have something more refined, more defined and refined, then you'll want to put in your better numbers here. But this is just to get us started. So $150 square foot, that's $240,000 to build, and so our total cost on this is going to be $300,000. At a sales price of $365,000, we're going to have sale costs of $36,500. leaving a net sale of 328,000, and we take away the costs, that's 300,000. So a net profit per house of 28,500. Now, here I say 10% of costs for sales costs. That includes realtor's fee. Often it's 6%. You may see some variance on there. Often it's 3% to the listing side and 3% to the buying side, but that may vary. 1.5% I use for closing costs, and then I have a 2.5% buffer here. Today's market, I don't usually have that buffer, but often I do. It keeps it a little conservative. If you have to give the buyer, buy the buyer a fridge or something like that, or there's cost overruns, it's a nice little buffer there. And so that's what we're left with for net profit. You've got 4 houses here, and that gives us a total profit of $114,000. Now we can look at what the total cost was and say, okay, well, that's a nice chunk of change. That'll take me a year to build and a certain amount of money, and boom, that's great. That's what I'm looking for. You may say, well, I expected I should get 50,000, for all the risk I'm taking, I should expect to get 50,000 per house. No, this number needs to be more like 100,000. I don't know what we're looking at. But that's kind of where we can start. We could also look and say, okay, well, I don't want to build 1,600 square foot houses. I think the market really will do 1,800 square foot houses, and they can sell for $425, and that'll get me my 50,000 profit per house. So again, this is just to kind of give you a feel for what those numbers look like. You will have to do your due diligence to know what things can sell for, and we'll talk about how to determine that later, and then also know what it's going to cost you to build it, and then any other sort of hidden cost you may have. Now, when you're talking with the bank, this is what's happening here right now. So things may change. If the market changes, we may see different things. But right now, what I'm seeing is I can get 100% loan to cost. So if the cost of a project includes the lot value and the construction, so if the total cost is $330,000, I can get 100% of that cost covered by the bank in a loan. So long as the value is the value of that is greater than that, 80%. So also, in addition, the bank will take 80% of the sales price, the value. So 80% of $425,000 leaves us at $340,000, and that will give us, the lower number of those two. So in this case, I can get a loan of up to $330,000. So in this case, essentially, I would not need any money because I can have all of the money paid for because the value of what I'm building is so high that I don't have to have any additional equity. Now, that's not totally true because I need to buy the land first. I'm not going to have the project ready to go and get the construction, most likely. I mean, if you're skilled, you know what you're doing, and you already have the plan, and you're able to negotiate with the seller to give you a long lead time to get all your plans and construction permits, all that stuff ready to go, then you may not have to come up with anything at all, and you've got a good balance sheet. So the bank, they're not worried about you. Then you can go get it all paid for. However, if you, on the other hand, you are, so typically what will happen though is you need to actually purchase the land first. So you purchase the land, it's $240,000. Maybe you get it at, right now it's 75% of the value. Maybe it's 50%, depending on what you do. Let's just say it's, for simple math, let's say it's, I'm going to say it's 50% of the value. So let's say it's $120,000 you have to come up with to purchase this. And then in addition, you'll have interest payments on that lot until you get everything ready. You'll also have the plans that you need to pay for, and that could be, you could get something online for a couple $1,000s each. Let's just say, so it's $10,000, and then you'll have to do any, additional work. So maybe another $10,000, you could get in, and let's just do it kind of a low end. Let's say it costs you $10,000, and then you've got to put in 10%, $24,000, so $40,000. So maybe you can, you have to come up with $40,000 to buy the land, get the plans, et cetera, get ready to go, and then go from there. That's one. And I think I'm going to go back to this 1,600 square foot, and so, okay, in this case, because the loan to value was a little bit lower, we had to come up with an additional $8,000 for the project. So I hope that just gives you a good quick overview of what it would look like for a house. This is getting long, so I'm going to do the next videos. I'm going to show you what the townhouse ones look like on the next video, and also what the rental looks like. Until next time, thank you.